Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Tara Love Perry, and thank you for joining me today for Food for the Soul. And today, I really want to share with you about love, true love, intimate love, painful love. What's the difference? What's real love? What isn't real love? And how do you know? So I'm going to share with you some of my own story because that's what I can best talk about, most authentically speak about. And I have the whole works. I mean, I've been there and done that. I have been the ultimate student of love. I've been on the highs. I've been in the deepest, deepest lows. I've been into the dark, dark place. And I've been into the light with love as well. In so many different aspects of my life. And especially in that, that search for my true soulmate. And I'm also going to share with you, not just from my own experience and how I know what I know. I'm going to share with you because I have many hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Actually, it's literally thousands and thousands of people that have sought my help, either on a one-to-one basis, or in workshops, or in any manner of other things that I do. Friends, family alike, that come to me with their problems around finding love. It is one of our biggest issues, if not the biggest issue that people want in their life. We all want love, right? We all want to be loved. We all need to know that someone out there loves us, and not just someone, but the one that matters to us, the one that gets into our heart, the one that actually makes a difference and almost makes our life meaningful. For many people, it's literally like my life has no meaning unless I truly meet my other. Now, that's not true across the board, but let's say that's true for a lot of people. And it's an incredibly painful journey for a lot of people. So let's go back to the beginning. I noticed something, actually. I noticed that I was in a relationship that I thought was the relationship to end all others. I thought this person was the love of my life. It was like meeting my soulmate, my twin flame. Some people call it the twin flame. Have you heard of that? If you haven't, just go Google it. I think there's a whole bunch of different interpretations. Actually, I've decided I don't really go with any of them. I don't even know if it means anything to me, that saying, that phrase, that label of twin flame. But the general gist that I got about it was that your twin flame is the one true love in the all souls, all time, all space. And if you're lucky enough to incarnate into this lifetime, into this body, at an appropriate matching age to each other, and that you're a man and a woman if you're in a heterosexual relationship, or whatever, woman, man, whatever your sexual preference is, that you would meet that partner in the most wonderful way if you are so lucky, and you would resolve all your inner conflicts together. You would resolve all your conditioning, all your pain, all your wounding, and to be able to come together and do that in a really conscious, spiritual way. Now that seems like a tall order to me. That seems like a really high bar to reach, and some people tell stories of how they do that, and I think that's amazing and that's wonderful. If that works for you, then great. However, I've also met a lot of people, friends and clients alike, who were asking, is this person my twin flame? It feels like they are. It feels like there is no other human being on the face of this earth for me. This is it. And yet what seems to come with those twin flame relationships is a huge heap of pain. Because what we're attracting in these instances is somebody who's like our equal and our opposite. Somebody who is like everything we've ever wanted and ever dreamed of, and yet they're also everything we've ever feared. They're everything we've ever been terrified of. They are the trigger manifested for all our worst nightmares. I can say that with some confidence. So let's just think, does this apply to you? Are you in relationship, or have you been in relationship with somebody who you thought was your ultimate soulmate. They were the other half of you. They were your light to where you are dark. They were your dark to where you are light. Your equal and opposite match. Right? And yet, there's a great deal of pushing and pulling, a great deal of contention, a great deal of resistance and struggle to opening up to that love. Because if one person is chasing, the other person is leaving. And then when the other person is leaving, the other person is chasing. And it's almost like you're addicted to each other. It's almost like you're magnetically attracted to come together and see each other and love every part of each aspect of you that is out of harmony with the truth, that is out of harmony with love, that is painful, that is difficult, that is contentious. Now, what appears to happen in these twin flame relationships is that one person wants to do all the healing and the work and the being conscious, whilst the other person really, really doesn't. This isn't true across the board, of course. This is just what seems to happen quite a lot. And for those people, mostly women actually, that come to me saying they've met their twin flame, or they've met their true love, or they've met their soulmate, or whatever this word is that you want to use, but this love is immensely painful, and your heart literally has never felt so much pain in all your life. And yet you love this person with every fibre and every ounce of your being, and you'd do anything to be in that love relationship with them. Now it feels to you, as it felt to me, that we are practicing unconditional love. That if I can love every single thing about this human being that triggers me like nobody else has ever triggered me, then I'm somehow going to pass a test, or I'm somehow going to become enlightened, or I'm somehow, this is my route to ascension, or I'm somehow, just even live happily ever after. Like it's something you have to get through, like an initiation, like a test. If I can love every single thing about them. Now, I know that you are actually an unconditionally loving being. I know that this is your default. We all are. We're born this way. And it's our nature to search for that true love. It's our nature for us to be in that harmony of unconditional absolute love. It's a state of being. It's a presence of being. And we search for that externally from ourselves. We want to find that other very real human being that meets us, that matches us. And when we think we see it in somebody else, whether they're called a twin flame or whatever you call it, when you think you see that in somebody else, or you see that potential, and you go and you try and you get that potential, and you adjust yourself, or you try to adjust them to make that happen, that's just a total recipe for ultimate pain and disaster. Trust me, I've been there and I've done it. And I've watched you guys do it too. Now I'm going to ask you if you would be willing enough to love yourself so much in the same way that you'd be willing to unconditionally love the other human being. Would you be able to turn that love around and give it back to yourself and really face yourself? Face your truth. Face your longing. Face your needing. Face your aching. Face your deep, crunchy, twisty desire to be with that love in another human being. Could you face that in yourself? Could you bring your attention back? Could you love yourself enough to go and love that part of you that's needing and wanting that love? Now, when I did the digging, because I was in an incredibly conflictual relationship, I would have died for this person. I would have done anything for him. I would have gone to the darkest depths. In fact, I did, actually. I went to some very deep, dark places because I thought that if I did that, I would kind of get some kind of reward. Now, I didn't think that consciously, but that was going on in the back of my mind. Like a little child, if I do the hardest thing, if I do what's being asked of me, if I do anything for this person that I love, I'm going to get eventually what I need. Now, this is the childhood mentality. If I do what mum and dad ask me to do, if I do what they do, if I do what's expected of me and I go to school and I study, or whatever it is, Some of us had really intense and very inappropriate or painful expectations that we had to fulfill as children. Some of those are really perverted and twisted. Some of them, not so much, but still painful, still dampening to the psyche. So we all have conditions of love that we were raised in, conditions imposed that if we do such and such, then we'll be loved. And I really recognized in me that it was the little me, it was the little girl in me that had grown up still with this little girl attribute of looking for somebody to love me without having any conditions. That I didn't have to fit into a mold, that I didn't have to fit somebody else's approval, meet somebody else's needs and pacify them or get their approval or be responsible for them or give myself completely, As a child, I just wanted something that was for me, that was unconditional. I didn't have to do anything to get, I could just be loved. Now, I had that need because that need was not met in childhood. For some strange reason, even though I know my parents loved me, absolutely loved me, and would do anything for me, I didn't feel like that. I didn't see an unconditional love relationship between my parents. I saw that there was love, and yet I saw lots of conditions, lots of troubles, lots of things not working. I saw a broken relationship. And that gave me the imprint, if I didn't already have one from a previous lifetime or from my soul journey, let's just say, just narrow it to this lifetime's experience. That gave me the imprint of what a love relationship looks like. So I'm trying to find something that isn't that, but I've only got that as my reference. Are you with me? I have a not working conditional relationship. Of course there was unconditional love in their relationship, don't get me wrong. There was a great love. But I still got the very big imprint that there was a lot of pain involved. There was. So I'm trying to have a relationship not based on pain, and yet it's in my conditioning that I have to go through the pain and heal the pain and transform that pain and somehow get the points or get the initiation so that then I get my happily ever after that's bound to be on the other side of that. I did some deep digging, and I found a part of myself that had never known unpainful love, that had never known love to be free and opening and without condition, just easy. I have no reference for that in my human relationships. I have a reference for that with my connection to Source. I have a reference for that with my connection to my own children, but not a reference for that when it comes to a true love relationship with somebody I'm intimate with, my life partner. So I'm trying to create something new, and all I've got to measure with is something that I don't want. So guess what happens? I keep repeating what I don't want. I keep repeating that same pattern. It's a bit like being bound to something by a bungee cord, and I keep trying to pull away from it and do something different, but I eventually just keep pinging right back, and because I'm coming from a place of pain. Ultimately, I'm looking for that unconditional love from a place of unmet needs and conditional love and pain from that. My search for love, do you get that? My search for love comes from a place of pain, so I keep coming back to it. You keep pinging back to it like a spring, returning back to where I started. Now, what had to happen for me and what I help other people with is going to that place of where the pain originates and going deep into self-love, healing, compassion, release, forgiveness, truth, and honoring what's already there, not forcing it to shift and ignoring it and trying to create something new by programming myself or something with some positive affirmations. It doesn't really work like that. Actually, a lot of that is, half-truth, let's say. We need to go back. We need to go to that place that's still in pain. Love it, heal it, release it, give it our fullest attention. Because then organically and naturally something else can emerge, another shift can happen. And in that way, true love can be realized. Now we get really addicted to the painful love because we don't know anything else. It's like we've become sensitized to it, we've become magnetized to it, literally magnetized, so that we're constantly attracting what actually isn't loving to us. It gives the promise of love, but it doesn't actually deliver, it just delivers the pain. And we get addicted to that pain, we get addicted to those relationships like nicotine or heroin or sugar, you know, because we're trying to feed something that is ultimately not being fulfilled. So we have to really forgive ourselves. And it can be really hard. We have to clean the eyes and clean the mind and clean the belief systems and clean the pain. And that doesn't need to take a very long time. That can be quite quick actually and very efficient, so that we can come brand new, open. Now I can tell you from my own personal experience that I healed and recovered from this long and arduous and very painful, but oh my God, so addictive, so delicious when it was working, relationship. I had to recover from my heroin addiction to my man. And actually, when I went and did that work, when I went and did that loving and healing, it was so fast. The relief, the transition, the shift was so fast. And liberation is what happened afterwards. And this sense of liberation that I experienced is something that's so amazing that I want to share it. And actually, I've got a webinar healing journey coming up. And this is one of the weeks, this is one of the modules in that healing journey that we're going to be focusing on, is that love in relationships and how to become unaddicted to the painful patterns. Okay? So, and I'm sure I'll be doing many other things as well if you don't happen to be on that in that program. But this, because I found so much peace, so much self-service, so much liberation and relief and joy from healing myself of this love addiction, painful love addiction, that I just feel like it's my duty to share it with other people because it's so valuable. And let me just tell you what else happened, is that I then become, guess what? I become a magnet for love. I become a magnet for my true love. And this has also showed up in my life. And how do you know the difference, guys? How do you know when you meet that true love? And let me tell you, there's no doubt. All of the doubts, because the mind will create fears, the mind will create doubts, that's what it does. It's that our cautious mind comes in, our protective thinking comes in, our old belief systems come in and say, yes, but this happened in the past. It might happen again. And what happens with that true love, it just gets washed away. There is no space for those thoughts to stay. And it's not like a trying to push the negativity away. It's nothing like that, in fact. It's more like there's no soil for it to root into, because the pattern of painful love is dissolved. It cannot take hold. Those negative thoughts that come through like clouds, they stay like clouds. They waft right through. There's no anchor for them. And the biggest sign that you can have if you're in a true love connection is that there's no pain. Now, when you're used to pain, like the sweet pain, the longing, the ache of love, you know, that can be something you get addicted to. So not having that is, oh my God, something else. It is mind-blowing. It is heart-expanding, heart-opening, exploding. There is no fear. There is no pain. It's absolute knowing. There is absolutely no doubt. When you know, you know. And it happens in an instant. Because love does not take time to grow, my friends. Love is. Love was. Love will always be. And when true love meets true love, when you meet the one that is your true vibrational match, that it is the mirror of your own heart, that is the mirror of your own soul, expansion happens, bliss happens, freedom. Oh my God, there is no doubt. And you know in an instant. So, would you be willing to love yourself unconditionally in all those parts where you've got trapped in the ideals and the consequences of beating that same pain drum of your heart, and be liberated, become free? And if you do, keep watching my videos. I'm going to keep sharing how to deal with that. Get hooked up onto my program, the I Love You Me Healing Journey. I'll put a link at the bottom of this video. Or just look me up. Call me up on the website. Because I believe in love. I am a love warrior, in case you haven't noticed. Love changes the world. Love changes everything. Love makes everything real and makes everything whole. And for that, we want true love, not some false concoction of what we think love is. That's not going to serve the world. That's not going to fulfill your heart. So let's only go for the truth, okay? I love you so much. I truly do, from my heart to yours. And I will see you soon.